Hello, welcome back. Tactical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger. Date December 13, 2022. Remember, as of December 15th, so this Thursday, Johnny Tiger be on holiday, so this show will be off air for about a month and a half. I'll still be around and I might occasionally post little goodies for you guys to enjoy. And if you really like to interact with me outside of YouTube, if you miss me a lot, then check me out on Instagram or Twitter at JohnnyTiger1981. At JohnnyTiger1981. I will post photos, little messages, and stuff like that there during my holiday. So, since we are in the holiday cheer, I'm going to give you guys a little holiday gift, a little Christmas gift this year by showing you the deadly Johnny Tiger back elbow attacks. Nah, it's nothing really all that special. Works for me really well. And if you really work on your elbows, then this will be something that serves you really, really well as well. But first, a little quick real life story. So last night, me and some of my students, a couple of the boys, we were uh, sparring and going through drills and self-defense, Krav Maga stuff. Everyone's very rambunctious. So there was one point where I started off by being at a real disadvantage. I started off by laying face down on the ground, and uh, the attacker, who was pretty pretty burly. He was like a 6'1", uh, 200, 210 pound kind of bodybuilder kind of guy. So there I was, face down on the mat, and he dove down on top of me and got his massive arms around my neck and start yanking my head back. So at that point, I did something that amazed the class quite a bit. Uh, it's kind of breaking the self-defense rule a little bit because in self-defense, I've spoken about this before. Uh, in most cases, you're not supposed to put your hand on the floor, right? Reason being, when your hand on the floor, someone can stomp on your finger. Bye bye finger. However, when you're face down, sometimes you don't have a choice. When you're face down, sometimes you have to put your hand on the floor. Okay? So in this case, the guy on my back, pulling my head back with his burly, muscle-bound arm, and I slapped my palms to the floor, did a full push-up, and stood up with the guy on my back. Yeah, pretty cool for a guy who's over 40 years old and not very fit at the best of time. um, so at this point, the guy, like Bruce here, he's clinging to my back, and I just got up, and he's trying to pull me back with the arm around my neck. So I naturally went into the deadly Johnny Tiger back elbow attack, which I'm going to show you guys today. Why is back elbow such a good move if you know how to do it properly? A lot of time people get back elbow messed up because they go like, ugh, okay? They shoot their arm forward and then they bring their arm back, which, as you can see, if I just do this, it's barely touching the guy behind me because the range is too short. Okay? However, watch this. So here's the guy choking me from behind. All I do is I let myself sag in his grip like I'm giving up. My hand is not even up and trying to pull his arm away. My hand's down here by my knee, like my whole body totally relaxed. And then I push up from my leg, drive into the floor with my leg. Boom! Eh? Just like that. So my hand go from down here, dangling between my knee, to elbow straight back into the solar plexus. My posture go from relaxed and limp to totally erect and power through elbow. And this is the first takeaway for today. For you to develop that good back elbow, don't rely on throwing your arm back, just using your arm. Okay, it's not going to work. The range is too short. You need to build that full body momentum. So when you throw that elbow back, your body have to turn, your leg have to push. Okay, if I just use my arm, let me switch sides so you guys can see better, hopefully. If I just use my arm, look, it's barely touching the target. Barely touching the target, huh? The range is that short, right? And that makes sense because the range can only be as long as my upper arm, right? Your range is only as long as the upper arm if all you are using is your arm. However, watch how long the range is when I power this with my whole body and turning into this. What's that? My elbow travel all the way up to the person's face when I extend it with my body and turn with my body into this elbow. Okay? Go from barely touching the person to right up to the face. Quite an amazing transformation when you know how to throw that back elbow. Now a lot of people say, well, that's just one back elbow. That's not your not deadly Johnny Tiger back elbow combo or attacks. But the reason being, this was a sparring and survival drill, and the person was already winded, and he let go of me after that one hit. I didn't need to do anything else. Okay, that's another thing. When you're drilling, when you're doing practices, always remember, don't overkill it. Okay, only use as much force as is needed for you, for your partner, for your opponent to get the message. Okay, don't destroy them every time. Otherwise, no one wants to practice with you. Right now, what is the actual Johnny Tiger deadly Johnny Tiger back elbow combos? Before we go into it, let me quickly say this. I said this before, and I want to stress it again. Combos, whether from me, whether from any other self-defense martial art guru, they are not there for you to just memorize it. Okay, you don't want to just memorize and copy my combo because what worked for me may not work for you. These combos, these katas, these patterns are there as a textbook example. You know how when you learn how to do arithmetic and solve problems, they always give you practice questions and examples in textbook. That's what these combos are. They're not there for you to, okay, I'm going to remember all 20 combos and I'll be unbeatable. No, they're there for you to learn how to string your movement together, for you to practice what work, what don't work. And in the end, you need to be able to come up with your own combo. Otherwise, imagine this. You go and get into a fight or you go and compete and everybody memorize the same set of combos, then you'll never get anywhere. Okay, so you need to take these combos and break them down, understand them, understand how they work, and then eventually come up with your own. Okay, so with that said, Johnny Tiger, deadly back elbow combo number one. This is one of my favorite. I think I even shown this on this channel before. Where's the back elbow into the solar plexus or stomach? I'm going to follow it immediately with the same hand, fist right into the face, and a fist into the groin. This is all done with the same hand. Elbow, face, groin. Elbow, face, groin. Okay? Elbow, face, groin. Elbow, face, groin. always the same hand. Okay, this is one of my favorite attacks when someone dare to approach me from behind. Some people will ask, can we do elbow, groin, face? Well, like I said, these are just provided as examples, so there's nothing that say you can't. I will tell you one thing though, why I prefer to do elbow, face, groin rather than elbow, groin, face. The reason being, when you do elbow and then groin, usually the person will be bending forward like this after you hit them in the groin. Which means if you try to throw that backhand into the face, you won't hit them on the face. You'll get them on the head, on the forehead. And fist versus forehead, your fist will lose. You'll break your knuckles. Okay, so this is why I don't want to hit the groin and go for the face like that. Okay, so for this particular combo, it's elbow, fist, groin. Okay, I hit them in the face. That will usually force them to put their arm up, like, oh, oh. This will leave their groin totally open for the third hit, right? Now, obviously, you can't be just one trick pony. I can't just rely on this one combo. Um, Another Johnny Tiger back elbow combo. This is very simple, a two-prong movement. This time, when I throw the elbow back, I'm assuming that the person is moved out of the way a little bit, so I can't get them in the stomach or solar plexus with my first back elbow, and my elbow actually travel up and hit them across the chest or face. Okay, so in this case, it's just a high elbow and low elbow. Okay, high elbow, low elbow, high elbow, low elbow. Alright. Okay. Now, for those that can't see the screen, when I throw my high elbow, it's exactly like elbowing back. I'm just letting my motion continue upward into the chest and face. And once I make connection, once my right elbow hit, my left foot glide forward like a forward lunge. This will drop my center of gravity. Okay? So when I throw a high elbow, I lunge, drop my center of gravity, and low elbow. When I throw that elbow back this time, because I dropped my center of gravity, this will hit right into the groin. Okay? This is a very painful combo to get hit with. Face, groin, or chest, groin, or throat, groin. Right? Again, always the same elbow. Now, when we do these back elbow attack, there's usually two outcomes we're looking for. One is we stun them long enough for us to uh, access our self-defense tool. For example, when I hit someone, remember in Krav Maga, we are not looking for a competition. We're not looking to prove who's a better fighter. The whole point for me to do this, or this, or this, all these attacks, is for me to end the conflict. So I'm either going to take this chance to access my self-defense tool so we can end the conflict, or I'm going to go for debilitating knockout. Those are the two outcomes we're looking for, a knockout or an opening. Okay, so let's look at the opening, right? Because a lot of time I do recommend if you do these back elbow attacks, after you hit, after they are bent over holding their groin, step away and turn around to face them. Okay? But make distance, make that opening. Someone come up from behind, try to grab me, try to rough me up. I elbow, hit, step away, turn around, access, my knife is already in my hand. Okay? Some people ask, why do you hold your knife so low? Why do you hold your knife at hip level? Reason, because when I turn around, I want to be prepared. If they are charging toward me and my knife is down here at hip level, I don't even have to do anything. Most likely, they're just going to impale themselves. I know that's a little bit of a gruesome detail, but this is why, okay? You got to think about it. You don't just pull your knife out and start waving it around. No. You got to, the moment you pull this knife out, you got to think, where do I want to hold this? Do I want to hold it out like this? No. Because the person is just going to grab your wrist. Right? Do I want to hold it like this? No, because the person hit my hand and stabbed myself in the face. Do I want to hold it in front like this? Probably not, because it's very visible, and again, the person is going to grab for it. Okay? So, for me, when I pull out my self-defense tool, I'm going to keep it at belly button, groin level. Okay? So if they try to dive and grab for it, I can naturally twist out of the way and cut back. But that's another technique for another day. Just remember this. Back elbow, hit, back elbow, whatever you do with your back elbow combos. If you don't knock them out, then it's a good idea to step away and turn to face them. Or just keep on running if you're a really good runner. What else would I do with the back elbow? Okay, let's look at another combo. Again, this is something that I do a lot. Back elbow, this time I'm going to skip the face hit. I'm going to go back elbow groin. Back elbow groin. Now, remember, when I said, when I hit the groin shot, most of the time the person is going to bend forward. Okay, so I am going to end this with one of three options. I'm going to show you that one of three options. Back elbow, groin shot, the person bend forward. I'm going to twist right in with the uppercut right into the face with my other hand. This gives me a lot of torque into the uppercut. Okay, so back elbow, groin, uppercut right into the face. Option number two, back elbow, groin, the person bend forward, I twist around, right in kicking right up into the face. Right, this is something that you need a little bit of flexibility, but it is a devastating knockout if you can pull this off. Again, all you need to do is make them bend forward so you can twist and kick up into the face. Number three, this one is going to turn into a takedown, which is a little bit hard to do on the training dummy here, but I'll show you guys. So, back elbow, groin, the person bend forward. I'm going to turn and loop my arm over their neck and put my body weight right down on their neck, pushing them face down into the floor with a guillotine choke. Okay? Now, you don't have to get things that complicated, obviously. You can do back elbow, groin, turn around, grab their ear, and knee up into the face. That's fine too. Like I said, combos are never set in stone. It's up for you to find what works for you. No matter how you decide to advance your back elbow combos, back elbow strikes, the key is that first elbow have to be strong. Okay, you need to develop that first elbow, that first back elbow. When the elbow come back, okay, it has to be big, it has to be hard, and it has to be controlled. You can't throw that back elbow and you stumble all over the place. Okay, that back elbow have to be nice and controlled. Thank you for checking out today's Tactical Tuesday. I know this is a little bit advanced and for some people, and Might be a lot to digest, but hey, I'm going to be away, so this will give you guys something to think about in the holiday. I'll be back again tomorrow for one last episode before the holiday for Wisdom Wednesday. For now, have a good night.